Because I'm really into Tesla coils, I'm also kinda obsessed with these little Slotjammer circuits. And honestly, it's very easy to see why. I mean, look at this thing. It only needs 4 components and a bit of wire, but puts out a crazy amount of RF power. A lot of people didn't even believe this circuit was real. They said it was fake or made with AI, but no, I'm not using magic and I'm not faking it. I can tell you, it works. Seriously. So now I'm going to show you step by step how to build this little device. But definitely watch the video until the end, because I'll explain why your own version probably isn't working. Chapter 1. The electronics. To build a Slotjammer, we only need 4 components, wired up as shown in the schematic. A 10k ohm 0.5 watt resistor, a 47 pico 1 kV ceramic capacitor, a 220 pico ceramic capacitor, and finally the transistor and a small heatsink. It should be the original Sanyo 2SC2078 with the marking E2F2, but more about that later. Place the transistor in front of you with the 3 pins pointing towards you. The left pin is the base, the middle pin is the collector and the right pin is the emitter. First, solder the 10k resistor between the base and the collector. One important thing, keep all connections as short as possible because of parasitic inductance and capacitance. After that, solder the 47 pico cap between the collector and the emitter. Then solder one end of the 220 pic cap to the collector. The other end stays disconnected for now. So this is basically the heart of our Slotjammer. Now we need 2 wires for the power connection, ideally a black and a red one. The emitter, which is the right pin, is negative, so solder the black wire to it. The collector is positive, solder the red wire to it. If you're lazy and want an easy but simple solution, you can also use a PCB. I designed this board myself and had it produced by JLC PCB, the sponsor of today's video. But this time, instead of using the website, I tried the desktop app called JLC One. After downloading it, I can upload my Java files and check the PCB preview, choose all the usual settings and place the order directly inside the app. The nice thing is that everything is in one place. I can get coupons, manage my orders, and later track the production process and shipping status without constantly opening the browser. A few days later, the classic blue JLC PCB box arrived and I can finally use the PCB for the actual build. So if you're already ordering PCBs from JLC PCB, JLC One is basically a cleaner and more convenient way to handle the whole process. Chapter 2. The coil. The coil is obviously the most important part of the jammer and the number of turns really matters here. I'll quickly show you how to make it. We need a 9V battery as a form to run the first coil. Wind 0.7mm wire around the battery about 40 times. Make sure to leave both ends long enough, because we need them later. Use some electrical tape to secure the whole coil. Now comes the hardest part of building the jammer. Take another piece of 0.7mm wire and wind it 56 times around one of the open ends. Finally, secure the second coil and clean everything up. The other open end of the coil becomes the antenna. Just make a spiral out of it. That's our final coil setup. Chapter 3. The assembly. This is where most people mess it up. First, solder the bottom end of the 40 turns coil to pin 1 of the transistor, which is the base. The end of the 56 turns coil that is closest to the bottom end of the 40 turns coil should be soldered to the emitter, pin 3 of the transistor. The remaining open end is simply soldered to the open end of the 220 picofarad capacitor. It's really important to do it exactly like this, otherwise you probably kill your transistor. Chapter 4. The test. As a power source, we can either use a bunch of 9-volt batteries or an adjustable power supply. The batteries are obviously a lot more convenient and portable. Just connect plus and minus to the input, and as you can see, the device starts oscillating nicely. With the power supply, we can push it quite a bit harder and draw quite a bit more power. That way, we can even create a small plasma torch. Chapter 5. Frustration. Does your EMP jammer not work even though you did everything exactly like I did? Then the problem is probably the transistor. You really need an original Sanyo 2SC2078 with a marking E2F2. There are a lot of transistors out there that look almost the same, but internally they can be completely different. Different capacitances, different gain, different switching behavior, and different RF performance. This little circuit is extremely picky, and it was basically designed around the exact characteristics of the original 2SC2078. So yeah, I'm sorry guys, but if you want to work it properly, you need this exact transistor. Cheers!